All right. Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Mentorship Mondays, hosted by the Owwll App. Now, before I get started here, if you do not have a copy of the Owwll App yet, please go to the Apple Play Store or the Google Store to download your copy. Domenica's laughing at me because what are they called again?
The Google Play Store.
Google Play Store.
It's just the Apple Store.
And the Apple Store. There you have it. You see that she's got the tech covered here.
You came up with some unique name for Apple last time.
I like
it, but I liked it. It was fun.
I like to rename things sometimes. Yeah, it's more fitting. Either way, to make sure to download that app, go to your applicable store. Are there any other stores that I missed? Am I leaving one out?
You use an Android phone?
I do use an Android.
What do you guys have?
Yeah, what do you?
Well,
it's like another world out there.
It really is. It's just, just take these amazing pictures and, it's just little stuff, Is
that the Google Play Store for you? Or do you have like an Android store?
Oh, you know what? We actually have a few stores. Yeah, you're jealous, right? We have the Samsung store. We have the Android store. And it's Google Play, right? Yeah, and we have the Google Play Store. I know. 3 places to shop. You only get to go to one.
I don't know any.
Wait, is Alexa, is that part of Apple too?
No, that's Amazon. I'm sorry to break it.
Is there an Amazon phone?
There used to be, but they stopped making it. But I feel like Amazon should come back with their phones, or at least partner with Apple, or I don't know what Siri you have, but Siri sucks, man. Siri's the worst.
Wait, do I have Siri on this phone?
No, you have some other.
I don't talk to my phone like that. I just use it for a phone.
Well,
and pictures.
You're missing
and apps
out,
and texting.
Siri sucks anyway, so you're not missing out.
I have what is it? An Amazon thing at home that
Alexa.
Yeah. And it's like you just order the thing around. Alexa, turn down the temperature. Alexa, play bossa nova. Alexa, what's going on in I don't know Canada today? That's something,
Really, you got to watch your tone though, because then you just become bossy.
No, Alexa is very tone sensitive. I've learned that. She just ignores you. Like if you're like too direct and too harsh, she like pretends like she doesn't work. But if as soon as I change the tone and I'm like, Alexa, would you please play some, I don't know, bossa nova, or please play some relaxing music? She's like, yes, I will play some relaxing music from the Amazon Music Play Store or whatever she's, So anyways, wait, I didn't even finish the intro for this show. So if you don't have the app, go to your applicable store, download it. Here's the thing with the Owwll app is it's kind of like if you've ever gone networking or to a trade show, it's like going to a trade show on your phone, literally. Who do you want to talk to that's an expert in your area? Who do you want to talk to that might be able to give you some guidance and some information for whatever it is you're trying to get better at? You want to learn more about real estate. You want to learn more about technology. You want to learn more about performance. We're on the Owwll app. You should be on the Owwll app. It's free to download, free to set up a free account. So there's no reason not to do it. And if you're watching this show, come on, get the Owwll app. That's all I can say about the Owwll app right now. We'll probably talk more later. But I want to introduce my 2 amazing co-hosts here. So as you all know, for people that tune in regularly to this show, we have Domenica right over here to my right. Say hi, Domenica, and tell everyone a little bit about yourself. I'm sure we have some new viewers or listeners.
I own a marketing agency, and we focus on building businesses with AI. And we have some really awesome stuff coming up with Jeff here. And so if you're in the Miami/Fort Lauderdale area, tune in Friday the 24th of this month. We will be holding a mastermind down in Miami, and it's going to be super exciting because if you're an entrepreneur or business owner really wanting to take your business to the next level, you need to be there.
Absolutely. This is definitely going to be some next level stuff. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. I'm glad you brought that up because this is going to be really exciting. And I want to introduce our very special guest to my left, Evelyn Bateman, superstar South Florida Boca Raton realtor. Watch out. She showed up on the scene several months ago and she's already crushing it. I don't even know what to say. I'm just going to let her speak. Evelyn, tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Well, thank you for the introduction. I appreciate the vote of confidence. I'm a South Florida native. I've lived here for many, many years. It's a place that I know and I love, and I really enjoy doing real estate in this city, in this area, because I'm intimately acquainted with the schools and the playgrounds and the beaches. And I raised my family here. I'm still raising my family here. So, as many times as I've left the state, I lived in Texas for a bit and Georgia. I keep coming back because South Florida is just a place that is in my bones, in my blood, and I cannot leave for very long.
Once you come here, you don't go back. And
Yeah.
that's
That
just
is
the
true.
facts.
Or if you leave, you keep coming back.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing for people that are looking to get a place down here, like how valuable is it to have a local, someone who has a family, raises their kids, knows where the parks are, just has that extra inside information that you're just not going to get from, just a regular everyday person who's in the game, You're not just like, I don't know, maybe I'm going too far here, but you're not just getting a realtor with you. You're getting literally a local contact. You're getting somebody that can point you in the right direction for a million different things that you want to do. You know the schools, you know the playgrounds, you know the safe areas. You probably even know where all the dog parks are, the beaches, where to park. I've been in Boca a long time, and I can tell you right now, if you do not know the ins and outs of this area, you can really have a Saturday or Sunday turned upside down on you just from parking alone. Try parking around Palmetto Park Pavilion on a Saturday or Sunday. It's not going to happen unless you're going to get there super early, or you know where the secret spots are, which Evelyn knows.
I would never even try to park there.
See,
I-
see, it's not
What are
even.
you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's exactly right. I think what I give my clients is a friendship, and you have a local friend. And people that come here from other states and even other countries, they feel a safety with the fact that I live here and I know it, and I'm a friend. I'm a friend in the neighborhood.
See, and there's so much value in that. There's so much value because that explains to a degree why you really hit the ground running. Because when people enter a business or an industry, we can all tell, we can all feel it without even really like thinking about it too much. We feel someone's energy. We can feel where they're coming from. Where's their sincerity? Where's their groundedness? What is their intention? And when you're coming aligned, when your intention, your energy, and everything's in aligned and with what you're actually doing, that attracts people. That brings them in to your world, and it makes them want to trust you.
Absolutely.
So you came into real estate 8-9 months ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
Roughly. Yep.
8-9 months ago. And look, you're already crushing it. You're going to, like, 2025 is on track to really be like a year that, maybe 10-year real estate veterans might have a taste at.
Yeah. Let's do that. I love
Oh
the
my
sound of
God.
that is great.
It's unbelievable. I met Evelyn through social media, and she was looking for some business advice, and we ended up chit-chatting, and she became my client. And I have nothing but positive, amazing things to say about her, because in my world, I have to be really selective with who I work with. I only have limited bandwidth. I only have limited time. I do a lot of, well, how do I want to call it, corporate work, team building work with companies and organizations. So for one-on-one clients, very, very limited roster. But when you encounter someone and connect with someone who the potential is undeniable, and they have the drive, they have the energy, they have the vision, and they have the focus, how do you ignore that? So I can't wait for her to share more with all of you on how she got to where she's at right now and how she's going to get to that next level without sharing any of your secrets, of course.
Of course.
Because there's realtors out there right now taking notes. Guaranteed. They're probably recording this, as they should.
That's right. Come on. No, I'm super open, and the secrets I have, I'm happy to share, because there is enough shrimp at the barbecue. There's enough for everybody. So we live in an incredible market. There are so many homes here. 1,200 people move to South Florida every single day, and less people leave. I think 700 leave, 1,200 come. And this is a market that has so much to offer, not only buyers and sellers, but for realtors as well. So I'm all about collaborating. I love when realtors call me, when they ask me and they want my advice, they want me to market a property. I'm all about that. I love making connections. Yeah.
And I think like that's what really makes somebody successful is that they don't see others as competition, but more of the point, how can we work together and how can we make this in a collaborative environment? And no
Absolutely.
matter what you're doing, it doesn't matter if you're in real estate or other businesses. Oh, look, little shrimp.
Oh, look at that. We just
Wouldn't that be good?
There's
if we
plenty
had
of
little
shrimp.
snacks in here?
Everybody have one. Everybody
I
can
love
have
this.
it.
why do I feel like this podcast just took a 90-degree turn? What are we supposed to do with these?
I love it.
Stress
Hey,
balls. Stress
Yeah.
release.
just always remember there's plenty of shrimp.
Fantastic. Well, we literally just got served shrimp, plastic shrimp.
That's perfect.
I think a lot of people, a lot of our viewers and listeners out there would really be interested to hear a little more on the story. Because like, as you're moving forward as literally what I'm going to just keep referring to you as a superstar realtor, how are you doing that? Because I don't think one thing that people know and realize yet that you have a family. You have 5. No, you don't have 1 kid. You don't have 2. You don't have 3. Should I keep going? You don't have 4. You have 5.
Yeah, that's impressive.
That's 5.
Kudos to you.
Thank
That's
you.
5.
Mom.
And they're all mine. This is what people say. Are they all yours? Did they all come out of your body? I have the people ask me the most bizarre questions. Is it a religious thing? It's none of that. Yes, they came out of my body. They're all mine. They're incredible. So ranging from 16 down to 8. I went into my young adult life. All I wanted to be was a mother. I wanted to have a family. I wanted to raise my kids. I wanted to bake the brownies and make the bread and take them to the parks and the beach and just be a very present mom. So I was able to do that for 15 years. I stayed at home and it was the most rewarding experience of my life. I home educated my kids. Everything they know, I was part of that process. I didn't teach them everything they know, but I got to be intimately involved with all the details of their education. And I loved it. I thrived. It was incredible. In the midst of that, I had a marriage that didn't go quite the way that I hoped it would and exited the scene. So I had to have a reinvention moment of, okay, I'm 40 years old. What's in front of me? And it was an incredibly empowering time of my life to look at myself, my gifts, my passions in life, and what do I want to do with the next half of my life? I had so much life ahead of me. So there were careers I thought about. Teaching was always something that I enjoyed, that I thought would be a very natural, easy fit. But I really love making money. So I knew I needed something a little more lucrative. Nursing was the second thing that I considered, but I'm very naturally minded. And there's a lot of things about the medical community that just would not fit with who I am as an individual and convictions I have in my own heart. So I was actually raised by a mom who did real estate. My father owned a mortgage company. So I was like inundated with real estate growing up. My mother took me to showings. We moved into 15 different houses over my childhood, all over South Florida. And the more I thought about it, I thought real estate is a perfect fit for me. I love this area. I love people. I love the freedom of getting to be out and about, driving around. I love looking in homes. And I myself, as a grown woman, have moved plenty of times as well. So I know the process. I know what I need in a realtor and what I want to provide for my clients.
That's huge, because what you just shared with everybody is your experience. Even though you've been doing this for approximately 9 months, you have experience. You know what it's like. You know what it's like to move.
Oh, I
You know what the stresses are like.
do.
And oh my God, I thought of it again. 5 kids. You know what it's like to move 5 kids.
With 5
I don't know what it's like to move 5 kids.
They say the 2 most stressful things in life is divorce and moving. And it's so, so true. And the fact that like you have 5 kids and you know the struggles of moving and you can relate that because people move to Boca to start a family for the most part, right?
Yeah.
And that's just honestly incredible that you were able to get into the market so quickly. And it is a really, really competitive market down here.
Mhm.
But people need to understand that it doesn't really matter how competitive a market is or how many people are already doing it. If you're good and you're passionate about it and you have the knowledge to do it, there's no reason why you can't be successful.
Oh, 110%.
Yeah.
And it's like for what you do and for what Evelyn does, experience. And talking about this actually made me think of a little story. Have you ever heard the story about the man who climbed Mount Kilimanjaro?
No.
Anyone want to hear it? It's really
Oh,
quick.
yeah.
I actually wrote it down.
Where's
So.
Mount
What is it?
Kilimanjaro?
It's in Africa.
Okay.
Yeah.
I taught geography. I know that.
Do you know where Mount Everest is?
Yeah.
Which country?
Can I? Switzerland? No, where?
Nepal.
I don't
No,
cheat. I don't
Tibet and China.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
No, there's a few peaks on Mount Everest. It just depends which side you go up. Yeah, it's the tallest peak on
I
Earth.
knew Kilimanjaro was in Africa.
You're right. Do you know which country? Anyone? An extra shrimp for whoever guesses that. Are you sure? This looks like a really good piece of shrimp that'll never go bad.
Where is it?
Tanzania, I believe.
Ooh.
I could be mistaken, but I think it's Tanzania. All right. Well, I'll tell you the short story. It's a nice one too. So a client once asked me, "Do I really need you on this?" So I want everyone to visualize what you do professionally. Go into your mind and picture a client going up to you. And, you're talking about what you do. You're the specialist. You're the expert. And they say to you, they go, "Do I really need you on this?" All right. So you tell him a story. And this is the story. There was once a hiker who set off to climb Mount Kilimanjaro. Now, he read books, he watched the documentaries, he watched YouTube, even practiced on smaller mountains. He felt completely prepared. So when a seasoned guide offered to lead him up, guess what he did?
He said, "No, I got this."
Nah, he saw YouTube. Literally, what do you need an expert in AI and marketing, or a realtor, or a performance strategist for in your life when you can watch YouTube, right? So easy. I just watch YouTube. So 3 days into the climb, 3 days, the weather turned. The weather got really, 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 really bad. And the air thinned, as it does at those peaks. And I can attest, I've been at 18,500 feet, which is actually, is it as high as Kilimanjaro? It might be higher. I don't know.
Machu Picchu?
Huh?
Machu Picchu?
No. Machu Picchu is only like 11,000. No, I was at the top. I hiked up to Rainbow Mountain when I was in Peru.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a bunch of the people in my group, it was interesting because I'll get back to the story since you asked. And I enjoy talking about this. So 2 guys in my group were from New Zealand, and my guide was handing out oxygen at the bottom for people that might have needed it. So, I'm like thinking if everybody's taking oxygen, it might be a good idea. Well, these 2 New Zealand guys next to me, I'm in between the 2 of them, like they're best friends. And as soon as the guide comes up to them, they're like, "We don't need oxygen. There's it for wankers. What does a wanker need oxygen for?" And I'm like in between them, and I'm like, "Yeah, what they said. What is that?" So I turned down the oxygen, and I'm here talking, so obviously I survived. But the funny thing is when I got to the top and stuff, I recorded quite a few videos, and when I'm talking in the videos, I sound like I'm right now. But what people don't see behind the scenes is when I'm done shooting the video, because you're only at 10% effective oxygen at 18,500 feet. So right now we're at 100. Up there, you're breathing 10%. So it's a whole different, and here's the thing, to get away from that story and more into like the spiritual mindset side of it is, you think about it, when you're standing at that altitude, you're in a club of less than 2% of all people on planet Earth can actually say they've stood at top of the world at that level and been able to look at planet Earth from that view, from that vantage point. And, I want to finish my story here, but everyone's wired differently. But one of my, short circuits or circuits, whatever you want to consider, is I like pushing my limits. I like to see what I'm capable of. I like to see how far am I truly designed to go. And there's a lot of people out there like this, a lot of people who have these mindsets. And yeah, I hiked all the way down without the oxygen, and it was an amazing day, and I was so exhausted. And those 2 guys from New Zealand ended up becoming really close friends. So, I'll tell you, you make some really good friends when you do these kind of things, because you're sharing an experience together. You're not just sharing an experience like you're going to a club or to a party or a bar. Guess what? You forget about those, because we all know that we don't really have to work hard to have that kind of an experience. You just get in your car and you drive. And you want to drink, you pay for it. You want to get in, you pay for it. You cannot pay to hike up to 18,500 feet. Well, you pay your guide, but you have to do it.
And then those people have that same thing in them.
Bam.
So
Exactly.
my best friend actually met her husband hiking a mountain. And they've been married and they have one of the best, sweetest marriages I've ever seen. And they still love to travel.
I just got
I love that.
goosebumps.
I know. So
Yeah.
cute.
Because this is reality. It's like when you do these sort of things, you meet your tribe, because there's people, because here's the thing, like, all right, forget everybody's backgrounds. Maybe one person's an architect, another person's a mechanic. Who cares what they do professionally? Who cares what they come from? You all already have a thread that connects all of you. And what makes that thread even bigger, stronger, and bolder is the simple fact that you all came together on that particular day, that particular time. When those guys were in New Zealand, and then one of the girls in the group, she was from Texas, and then there's another one from Argentina. At some point, we all either went online or picked up the phone and called that travel tour operator, say, we wanted to climb that day, that time on that route. Like, come on. Everyone in the group has to know each other. I was the one that was bringing the whole group together. I go, guys, we all have to meet, because you just think you're coming on a hike. No, we're connected. We're universally connected to one another. We all made a decision together independently, and here we are. Do you want to ignore that, or do you want to actually embrace it and raise each other up? And oh my God, we were getting into the most spiritual, deep talks up and down. I think thin air really just your who gives a what goes right out the window, and it just flows.
I mean, it cuts down your brain capacity,
or it opens up your brain capacity. Maybe
You
it
know
shuts
right about
down the parts we don't need.
Yeah, that is so true.
I agree with you.
All right. Well, should I finish this story?
Yeah. So what happened?
All right. So here's the cliffhanger. So 3 days into the climb, the weather turned, the air thinned. His path, which started off was clear, well, guess what? It vanished into an avalanche of uncertainty. That's when he realized something. He knew how to climb. No one will deny that. But he did not know how to survive on the path up. So he turned back. When he finally made it down, he found the guide waiting for him at the base. The guide simply smiled and said, "You ready to go now?" So sometimes people, they have to kick that can down the road. They have to do it their way until they finally realize, hey, listen, it's let's hire the professional. Let's hire the specialist.
Have you heard of a for sale by owner?
I have heard of those.
Oh.
I don't know. Honestly, though, I don't know much
this
about
reminds
those.
me. Oh, it's somebody who goes to Home Depot and they pick up a sign and they put it in the front yard and they put their own phone number on it.
Uh-huh.
And it's not a terrible idea. I mean, I think, if you're business minded and you want to do that and you feel motivated.
Yeah.
But there is something about having a guide and somebody that can put your house onto the market and present it with beautiful photos and good marketing and social media content. You're going to get a lot more eyeballs on your property than just Joe driving by, your neighbor calling you and saying, "Hey, what are you selling your house for? What you got going on?" So
100%. It makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people just don't have those skills, right?
Right.
They don't. But you notice too, the more successful somebody is, generally, the more they're bringing on guides. They're bringing on specialists.
1000%.
Yeah, because you recognize, like, say, for example, and there's nothing you can really do about this specific situation I'm going to bring up. Well, there are, but why push it? Yeah, every once in a while, you'll meet those people who are successful, okay? And they're doing really, really, really well. And they're like, I don't need help with this, and I don't need help with that. And then in the back of your mind, you might find yourself saying to yourself, you're like, wait a second. On a scale of 1 to 10, you're like a 9 right now. And you got to a 9 through nature and nurture. Your environment and the way you think and operate got you to a 9. Now, it's obvious you still have some challenges in your life, and you cannot possibly tell me that there's nothing you can foresee wanting to improve or be better at. If somebody had a magic wand and said, "Hey, we can change something like that and make it 20 times better," come on, you're telling me you wouldn't have an answer? So if you have an answer to that, why would you hold yourself back? Because you want to know, here's the psychological answer from the land of the unconscious, all right, from the other side of the stuff I do, is because deep down, a lot of those individuals have an undercurrent of low self-worth. They don't really believe they're worth what they achieved. Because when you have the high self-esteem and high confidence and you know your worth, and you have the opportunity to work with someone who can get you from a 9 to a 9.2, 9.3, or 9.5, what are you doing holding back? That makes absolutely no sense in the world. Are you, let me, how did one of my newest clients just described it like this is he felt like a fighter jet. He felt like a fighter jet sitting on the runway. Literally the latest. No, I'm not talking like an F-18 or an F-16 for those of you that follow military hardware. I just happen to know planes. My dad was in that world. But I'm talking like the latest, greatest, like whatever the latest one is. I think the Chinese have the latest jet. I don't know. Let's pretend that they do. So he felt, well, I don't want to associate him, with that. We'll say the greatest U.S. jet. And he just needed the coordinates. Just needs a mission. Can you imagine being a mean, lean fighting jet machine and you have jet fuel in your tanks and your engines are just sitting there? You're sitting there on the runway and you're just burning fuel. And all you need is a target and a mission. That's it. You're a fighter jet. Fighter jets weren't meant to sit on the runway. They were meant to fly. And they were meant to do fighter jet things, which are, pretty big and expensive things. So that's what I have to say about that. And if somebody's considering, if you're looking if you need a real estate agent and you're considering for sale by home, I don't think that's a great idea. I think you need a real estate agent. And for technology, marketing, AI to build your brand, yeah, it's important to do.
So many people.
I might know someone.
So many people do try to do it on their own and do try to YouTube it or do try to Instagram. And sure, that's great. I mean, all the information is out there. But what people don't know is how do I make this work specifically for my business? And what am I not seeing that somebody else can come in and see for me?
100%.
Make it so much easier. It's why would you walk instead of, getting the car?
Right.
Exactly. And then I don't want to hear any health and fitness answers to that either. She was making a point, not being literal.
You're traveling, let's say from I don't know, Boca to Orlando. Are you really gonna walk? How many days is that gonna take you?
Right. Fast track it. This is why I met with you, because I want to get from A to B as quickly as possible. And I do not want to waste time and energy and effort and emotion on struggling through my inconsistencies or my weaknesses. I would much rather say, here I am. Let's talk about it. Where am I strong? How can I play on that? Where am I weak? How can I mitigate that or completely get rid of that? And let me get to B as quickly as humanly possible.
Right. Life's complicated enough.
Right.
Why overcomplicate it? Somebody shows up and says, listen, I can show you how to get there quicker, faster, sooner. Here's the one thing that none of us get back is time.
Right.
That's the thing. And I've met people who've been on the same road to nowhere for 2 years, 4 years, 5 years. And it's like eventually, and they watch YouTubes or they feel like I just have to read another book. And I'm like, stop it. You have all the information. There's no new information that's going to change your paradigm and your trajectory. Right. The challenge that most people, that this is the intangible, okay, is the alignment. So let me ask this question. How many people, including you two out there, have we met someone who's super intellectual? They know everything about everything, but yet they can't do anything about anything. They know it all, but they can't execute it all.
That's been me. I can say that's been me in a past life.
I have a 16-year-old son like that.
All right. I wasn't trying to go close to home on this one, but apparently I did.
Yes, of course.
A lot of people go through that, and then you end up reading all the books until, most people don't make it and don't have the self-awareness enough to realize how to actually do it by yourself. And yes, it does take longer. And sometimes you don't have the necessary resources to get the help. But what can you do now to get you to the point where you do have the resources to do it? And once you get to that point, it's time to execute.
Well, and that's also too where we're at now, to your point, is with 2025 upon us and the future in front of us, there has never been a time in history that I've seen, at least, where the requirement to be crystal clear on who you are and what direction you're going in is so critically important. Like I used to say this a long time ago. I don't say this as much anymore, but with my first business in the surfing world, I had no money. I was living in a one bed. I was renting a bedroom
You told
from
me
some
this.
guy in West Boca. Okay. And his son would come in at like 2 a.m. and it was a really like uncomfortable situation. But I needed to get my business off the ground. So I literally 24/7 just read, did whatever I did because I didn't have the resources. But here's the thing. As soon as I started acquiring the resources, you think I'm going to sit there and spend like 20 hours a night reading something? No, I'm going to get a little basic understanding of what I'm hiring someone to do, but I'm going to pay someone to do it. I'm buying time. The only time buying time becomes a problem is when the person buying the time is not clear on what that time is being used for. That's when the resources get wasted. But if you have a clear direction and you know what direction you're going in and you want to scale and you want to grow, you got to buy time. You got to hire people.
Yeah, but I think to get there, if you're going to do it yourself, it's going to take a lot of self-awareness, or else you just won't. You keep going in circles for years and years and years down the line.
Yeah.
So more than anything is
Absolutely.
what tools can I gain right now to keep trying over and over again to get me to the point where I need to be to get on that launch pad and go and hire somebody to do what you need to do.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think humility is key. You have to be humble and open, and not only humble, but motivated to make the changes immediately. Don't dwell on it. Don't him and haw over it. Just take the information and make the adjustment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and motivated enough not to give up, because as an entrepreneur, you can go months and months and months of not seeing results. But as long as you're executing and you're doing the work, it doesn't matter if, maybe you're on the wrong track, you'll get redirected where you need to go. I always use the saying, as long as I'm driving, I know that, the universe or God is going to redirect me back on the right path because I'm doing the work. And that's all that matters at the end of the day.
You have a strong faith. You have a strong belief, and that's huge. That's a core pillar to staying on track in that direction you want to go, is having that, that stake in the ground of faith and belief.
Yeah.
So
And people are going to tell you, don't do it, give up, go back and do a regular job. Or are you seriously going to do that? And you can't let that get in your head. I mean, I bet you've experienced it, right? Especially having 5 babies. It's not easy. And it's not easy getting into a market that's super saturated.
You're absolutely right. I told Jeff the story. It was like a pivotal motivational moment for me. Just in the middle of last year, I had been in real estate a couple months. It wasn't moving the way that I needed it to. And I had a family member say to me, just get a job at Home Depot. And it's so funny. I go back to that moment because I was on the phone with them and I just kind of stopped and paused and imagined that for a moment. And it was coming from a good place. And oh, they pay really well. And I did the numbers real quick in my head. And I'm like, I cannot even pay my rent on what I would make at Home Depot. And then I'm imagining myself in the little orange thing. But that is a moment I go back to, just go work at Home Depot. And I think about that. And it was fire under my butt to say, no way. You will be a success, and you will get to turn around to every person who said, just go work at Home Depot, and say, absolutely not. That's not the life that I'm providing for my family. I want my family to live in a beautiful neighborhood where they can run around and safely play with the neighbor kids. I want them to have good, healthy food. I want to have a dependable car to drive them to and from school now that they're in school. And I want them to feel safe and comfortable and cared for, just like they were in a 2-parent nuclear household.
Right.
And they're going to get all the
Yeah.
things and more because their mama bear is providing for them.
exactly.
I love that. And that takes a lot of knowing your worth, because if you don't know your worth, why should anybody else know? Or why should the universe, or why should what you want really come to you?
Right.
And I think one of people's biggest downfalls is not understanding their worth and believing in themselves enough, because what you want will never come to you if you don't have that.
Absolutely.
And that's why the universe now and the world today is full of distractions, full of them, to try to take us off our course, take us off our path. And maybe when I was younger, I wasn't thinking in the terms that I'm going to speak right now, because I was on a path. I had a company and that was it. I was dialed in. But now doing what I do now, I see it even more, that we only have so much energy. So if you're sitting there and worrying about what am I going to do Friday? What am I going to do Saturday? Oh, let me scroll on social media and see what outside. That is taking your energy. Energy is not unlimited. It's a finite resource. And then we go to bed and we regenerate and then we get a new set of energy, new energy for the next day. But here's the thing. It does run out. It draws. So if you're given 100 units of energy, do you want to give Peggy, Jose, Susie, or Mike that energy on social media?
Yeah, I mean, we have more
Yeah.
distractions than ever today. It's ridiculous. And I think the
It's-
generation that's coming up, I bet you can see with your kids, there's so many more distractions now than there's ever been. But alongside distractions, it comes down to addictions. Like, what are you escaping out of the world that you're living in right now that you don't want to face your reality?
Well, that's evolution kicking in too. So with the distractions and everything, I always say this is every time a new technology comes out and people get all excited about this, and that, it seems exciting on the surface. But here's the reality. Let's turn back the hands of time. Okay. I'm going to go back to like my parents' day. My dad would come home from work and guess what we had? We had a phone on the wall and he didn't even have an answer machine. So if he didn't answer it, you ain't getting in touch with that man, no matter what. Everybody talks, oh, look at the latest smartphone, look at the watch. Yeah, I guess I'm on board too. But all this technology, what does it do? It makes us more accessible. It doesn't help us. It makes our lives more complicated. We have less personal time to really just be with ourselves. And now we're just committed to the world at large. And this is the thing. Some of the most productive people in the world, and this is even what I do too, is I will shut off my phone. I will ignore it at certain points.
Yeah.
Why? Because I need Jeff time.
Yep.
I need time where there's nobody chiming in. It's as simple as that. And I suggest, you guys, I'm sure, take it too. Everybody needs this because we're human beings.
I think my coach needs to talk to me about that. Detecting a weakness.
All right. I'm making a note.
You know what you need to do on the iPhone, people? You can turn your phone to grayscale. So with 3 taps, my phone's grayscale. And that has helped me so much because I will say, like, I was addicted to scrolling on social media.
Really? Are you in recovery?
Please talk.
I have been recovered. I am safe and well.
Is that why it's grayscale? That's what it means? It's recovery?
When I noticed that, maybe like, I'll show you. There's
Okay.
a setting on your phone you can turn on.
Do you have a card or a pamphlet for the group you go to?
Recovery from Social Media Anonymous. Yeah, I mean,
All right.
are we on a call?
Are we?
Are we going live?
He's going to. He's getting us
We're
on a call.
Yeah,
really
I
nice
think
phone.
part of that is number one, understanding why am I scrolling on social media, and when you understand that and you're self-aware about that, and also you have a mission and a goal, you understand that.
All right. Looks like we have a phone call here with Mr. Geoffrey Ullman. How are you, Geoffrey?
I am good. How are you all tonight?
Oh, we're doing fantastic. All right. Have you been watching the show?
I have. I came in kind of late. I watched the last 5 or 10 minutes, so I did not see the
Hey,
whole show.
Jeffrey.
So you missed the very beginning then, huh?
I did.
Oh my God. Were they recording it? I hope not. We don't need. No, don't worry. It was nothing exciting. I don't want you to think about it or feel a lot.
FOMO, no FOMO.
Yeah, no. Oh my, they cleaned up the mess in the corner, right? Okay. So what's going on, Jeff? Talk to us. What's new?
I did listen. I'm sorry. Go
I
ahead.
said, what's new? What have you been up to?
Well, I was going to comment on what you were just talking
Please
about.
do.
About that we do oftentimes focus too much on technology. And it reminded me, I don't know if y'all are old enough to have seen the first Star Wars.
Oh
Of
yeah.
course, we've seen
He
the
is.
Star Wars.
He is old enough.
When Luke
I don't
turned
know.
off his aiming device, because he was going to follow the Force and his spiritual side.
Wait,
I
is this
think
Star Wars or
oftentimes-
Star Trek?
Star Wars. the
Oh,
first
Star Wars. Okay. Got it.
The with the advent of AI and tools and technology is great, but at the end of the day, until we're all bots, we are still human beings and do require and do need that social aspect.
Right.
So yes, technology is important, but it can, take over your life if you don't pay attention to the human spiritual side.
1000%. And we're so disconnected from ourselves. And I think that's part of it. When you begin connecting with yourself, and I'll say this, I wasn't addicted to social media. I had a problem where I watched TV all day growing up. That was just normal in my household. Whatever your addiction might be, you have to become self-aware enough to say, why am I even doing this? And it becomes a habit. Like sometimes I know a lot of people, and I was one of them myself. You just find yourself on social media and you're like, wait a minute, how did I even get here? How did I even open up my phone? And a lot of people don't realize that becomes a habit
Sure.
that you need time to break.
Well, here, how about I give a little coaching zinger? Should I?
Do it.
Let's go.
Please.
I don't know.
No,
I
it's
don't know if they're ready for this.
It's good.
All right, I guess I'll do it. So here's the thing. Everybody listening and watching, whatever you're doing, how about we go to the basics. Ask yourself, what are your top 3 goals for 2025? Write those down, get clear. Okay? Write them as vivid as possible, attach them to your values. The question I'm going to ask everyone is when you're making a decision and you're scrolling on social media, or you're looking up this party or that food that somebody, I don't know, whatever people put on there, is that bringing you closer to achieving your goals and your priorities? Yes or no? No, there's no gray area. It's a yes or no question. If your answer is no, knock it off. Stop. Because guess what? I won't bet on you. If you're not betting on yourself, don't expect a coach to bet on you, and a coach should not expect you to ever work with them because you're not even betting on you.
Absolutely.
Get clear on your goals, bet on yourself, and stick to those goals. And guess what? If you really have to do the social media thing, schedule it.
Schedule it.
30 minutes.
Put a
Oh,
timer
yeah.
on your phone. There's literally a timer where you can say an hour, 30 minutes, whatever it might be, whatever feels comfortable with you. Set it. Delete the app. Do what you need to do. And something too with that drives me crazy is the status. The average American spends 8 hours of their day on their phone.
No.
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
And 3 hours a day watching TV.
Stop it.
Oh
Yep.
my gosh.
Is that true?
It's true. It's 100.
What about the average El Salvadorian? I might move there.
They spend their time surfing. So you're.
I'm going. In Brazil, too.
Well, and to the point Jeff was making about human connection, this is where coaching is such an integral part of someone's success, because you can watch YouTube and you can get on Instagram and you can even, sometimes I'll do workouts, like a workout on the phone. You will not push yourself as far as you would if you have a physical person in front of you questioning
Right.
your motives, talking through, just
Right.
processing through the things that you are trying to grow in.
Yeah.
If you're just listening and it's audio, and I love to read, I read a ton, I podcast all the time, but to be able to turn around and talk about those things and then action plan is
Yep.
so different. And you have to have face-to-face, human to human.
1000%.
You just can't do it on your own. We're not
Yeah.
meant to, we're not even created to do that on our own.
But-
We have to have social interaction and
100%.
human connection.
Here's the crazy part about all this tech and AI. So I was talking to a client the other day and they asked me, what do you think about this new wave? Because Facebook Meta has come out saying that they're going to deliver social media profiles made entirely by AI generated people.
Wow.
So they're like, what do you think about that? What do you think is the future of social media? What do you think is the future of influencers? And I said, okay, like, first of all, it's a scaring tactic to steer people away from using AI because it doesn't benefit, the 1% for people to learn how to use AI properly. And 2, it's going to create such a massive disruption with people that it's either you have to either swim or you're going to sink, because you're going to end up with so many more people depressed, with anxiety, and so many more people disconnected from themselves that the suicide and depression rate are going to skyrocket.
Oh, those are real issues.
It's
yeah.
already happening. Apparently, there was like some guy that was dating an AI bot and she started, denying him and he killed himself.
Wow.
But what people don't understand is that
That's wow.
AI is programmed. So when you're interacting, I don't know what the interaction between him and his virtual girlfriend were. when you're interacting with AI, it's all about probability.
Yeah.
What is the next probable answer
Oh.
for me to give them? And obviously, if it's some type of abuse or whatever was going on there, the probable answer is for me to break up with you. There's no emotion tied into AI, and that's something that AI will never be able to replicate.
Right.
So whenever you're building your business or you're building your social media presence or your brand, you have to ask yourself, what can I provide that offers that community aspect and emotions to attach to other people? And that's what will always be successful.
I love this. Can I give a little realtor moment?
Totally.
Okay. So something that I do that I think will forever separate me from other real estate professionals, and especially the younger up and coming people behind me, is that I pick up the phone. And I always pick up the phone, and I will get on the phone with someone starts texting me or they're messaging me through any kind of social media app. I say, what's the best phone number for me to reach you at? I would love to call and introduce myself, because they say that people often use the first realtor that they meet. It's not even, maybe they're chatting with 15 other realtors, but I'm the first realtor they meet and get to have that human connection with.
Right.
That's huge.
It is irreplaceable, invaluable stuff, the person to person. And I love that. I thrive. That's why I'm here, because I enjoy it so much, that connection. And as soon as I can have that with somebody, I mean, my clients, they hug me, they cry. It's beautiful. The other night,
Yeah.
okay. I did a showing with this woman. She was in labor, literally in labor, Saturday morning. This is just 2 days ago, Saturday. We do the whole tour. She's stopping. She's contracting. She's like, I just really wanted to see this place, and then I'm going to the hospital. I'm like, it's all good. I'm here for you. Rubbing her back. You're going to do it. You're going to be awesome today. 10 hours later, she sends me a picture of this baby girl born into the world. It was amazing. I burst into tears. I was like, what a moment to be a part of.
This is why you do what you do.
That's why you're successful.
And I didn't have to be a nurse to see a baby be born, but what a cool moment to be a part of. And it's the same thing when someone buys a home, their first time home buyer, or, life transitions. And I work with a lot of people that are in the middle of divorce, and one's going one way and one the other way. And these are the moments of a human's life, and they are stressful. And to get to be there and just be a support and be a loving and nurturing voice, it's awesome. I love what I do.
Well, Geoffrey, you have 45 seconds. Anything you want to share with the loyal listeners and viewers?
Back to the real estate example. Zillow, for example, is a great tool, but at the end of the day, people don't hire and buy houses from Zillow. They hire a live human real estate agent. So back to the personal connection.
High
You
five.
use the technology, but at the end of the day, we're social creatures. So
There we go.
that's the important.
There we go. And that's something that will never be replaced ever. And I can guarantee that 1000%. And we're so disconnected from ourselves and so disconnected from each other that we are in.
I'm going to get cut off. Thank you for the time.
Thank you.
See you, Jeff.
So going back to that, we're in an epidemic of loneliness. More people than ever are lonely, looking for relationships, looking to connect with friends, looking to connect within their community, and they have no idea how to do that because they don't even know how to connect with themselves. So how can we be of value as business owners to create those relationships and go just one step further to make someone feel important?
Absolutely. I love that. And I think just being able to listen and understand and be empathetic and sympathetic and hear somebody out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We lack that in our society, like just being able to listen.
What's the saying? We have 2 ears and 1 mouth. Use them proportionally. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll share something on AI that I was involved in a conversation not too long ago on it about the development of AI and how far we can push AI. And somebody had actually brought up a very interesting point, because AI, as we want to keep expanding it and pushing the frontiers of AI, it does have its limitations, and there's also a distance we should not necessarily push beyond. So this discussion group I was involved in, it was from a spiritual nature, and we were talking about human suffering. And anyone that follows Buddhism, for example, one of the tenets of Buddhism is to help people reduce their suffering, remove humans from suffering, and that's, if you follow Buddhism, a lot of it is about ending suffering. Well, maybe not ending it, but mitigating it.
Well,
So
going back to that, I mean, that's the point of all religions, but some people don't want to read between the lines.
yeah, that's true too. But so here's the thing with AI, you could not ask it ever or program it to end human suffering. Do you know why?
Tell us why.
What do you got to guess?
No emotion. I mean, I would say what you said, they don't have an emotional component. They're just giving you probability, and probability is the human suffering will never
Will
end.
never end.
Well, if AI had to end it, what would AI end up doing?
We'll kill everybody.
Exactly. No, that's the truth. It would exterminate the human race.
It would.
Because every human being suffers to some degree. So when literally my whole group just went quiet. We were just like, oh my God. So the programmers of AI, if you're watching and listening, don't experiment with any crazy ideas.
Yeah.
You can help reduce human suffering.
Or at least reframe it.
Yeah,
Right.
something. Learning.
That's
We're not.
what we came here to do on planet Earth. Our only mission is.
Wait, what planet were you here before?
I don't know yet. That's what we came here to do, is find ways to eliminate suffering, because that's a human condition, right? And like, I was into religion for a long time. I studied it during college, and really, if you look back at ancient scripts, the word sin translates to suffering. So that's what we came here in this planet to do, and it's true. The only way to eliminate suffering is if we all died.
Well, it's eliminated. Yes. The Buddhists, to mitigate it and to reduce it, is to break attachments. Attachments lead to suffering. Yeah.
Yep.
And in order to break attachments requires people either one to just, break attachments without really knowing why. I guess that's one way, but not the most effective, is to really get clear on what matters to you in life. What do you really value? What fills your soul for long-term satisfaction, as opposed to just a quick dopamine hit, a quick excitement? Like back in the day when I was in my 20s and had my surfing company, I used to sometimes just impulse show up with surfing, because I could run through but again, it was just like, after I'd get it, I'd be like, oh, that's cool. And then, I might go in the corner or something,
Next,
Speaking to two women, are you embarrassed about impulse shopping? As if we cannot relate.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I figured you guys would know nothing about this. You just, no, this is a guy thing, not women.
It's all about connecting back to yourself at the end of the day, because when you're connected to yourself, so centered, you don't need any of that stuff. You don't. I used to be a shopper. Now I go to stores and I look at people, and I don't even like going to the mall anymore, just because I'm like, oh my God, like, I really do not need all that stuff.
No.
Like, I really do, I really am fine just with what I have, and it's always enough. But we're always looking for external validation or ways to fill empty holes. And that could be, through shopping or through impulses of food or scrolling on social media, going back through that.
Well, and I think too, with, life experience breeds wisdom. And these days, where I'm at in life, you can show up in your Bentley with your Gucci and Prada, and you know what?
It could be.
I will take the guy that's, the person that's just kind of wearing like everyday chilled out garb, that's going to sit there and talk about the time he, hiked across Afghanistan through the mountains and had, I don't know, ended up roaming into a rebel encampment and had dinner with the chief. And, they had some laughs together, and then he put him back on his route. That's a story of substance.
1,000.
Guess what? Anyone can go to the store with a briefcase of cash and buy anything you want.
Right.
It's like advertising back in the old days when, people would advertise in magazines. It's funny to say that. Back when I was building my businesses, I used to write letters to the editors all the time, because if they write an article on me, that's creditable. Everyone deep down knows an ad. You just stroke a check, you send a good picture, and bam, it's in the magazine.
Right.
Money buys exposure, but there's a difference between real, durable exposure. You're getting exposure because you're doing something amazing and you're really helping the world and helping people, as opposed to, hi, I just want to run an ad.
1,000.
And that's the same thing with people. And I've learned, again, maybe this is showing my age, but I've learned in life, the more somebody shows off, usually the less they really have
They're
it.
the worst. They're the worst. Usually the people, and I'll go back to this even like in, because I'm single and dating. When I
Hey
see
guys, all right, and any cute guys out there, here you go.
when I see a guy,
Call her on the app, the Owwll app. She's gonna get dating calls now.
hey, I mean the Owwll app works for that. I've heard things. I haven't tried it myself.
Wow, you hear that? It doubles up
There
as
you
a
go.
dating app.
There you go. There you go. But it's usually the guys that are dressed in the nicest clothes, that have the most expensive cars, that are just complete garbage. Those are the guys you don't
I
want
think
to
as
date.
women, you know that too, deep down. You know that it's a game,
You do know it's a game, but
right?
there's a lot of women
100%.
All right, yeah, I thought so.
because we're connected, we're connected to ourselves and we know what's really valuable. But it's usually those guys that are the worst. But the women, especially in my generation, that see that drool all over that.
No.
But they're disconnected from themselves, and those are the people that will never find true love.
I agree with that. So I've told Jeff the story of how I met my boyfriend, but I'll just tell you real quick. So we were friends in the volleyball community. My daughter plays club volleyball. And when you are a volleyball parent, you are committed. Your weekends are spent in the gym. It's loud, it's whistles, it's expensive, it's all the things. And I was going through a divorce. It was pretty brutal. And he was another volleyball dad. And I would see this guy, his weekend or not his weekend, he was there to support his daughter, cheering my daughter. He was very conscientious of, do you need me to carry your bag? How are you? I'm getting water. Do you want a water? Just really attentive and kind. And I overheard him having a conversation with somebody one day about being single. He was divorced a few years before me. And they said something about dating apps. And he was like, no, I'm not on dating apps. And I was in a conversation with other people. And I just heard him. He's very attractive. He's tall. He's gorgeous. And he said, no, I don't do that. It's a mess. And he's like, I need to get my life together. I just got divorced. I have a lot to work on with my career, myself, my kids. That's my priority right now. And I remember just tucking that away and thinking, gosh, he's got to be the only guy in all of Boca Raton who is not out on dating apps, being a flamboyant maniac, dating every girl humanly possible and racking up credit card debt like a crazy person. And when I got divorced and he asked me out, I was like, absolutely, I will go out with you, because I would never be on a dating app. And I know you're not either. And yes, you're the guy I want to date, because you're not playing the game. You're not pretending.
You're looking for something real.
It was real as real can be.
It's a real connection, real vibe, and those have a chance.
Yeah.
That's a relationship with a real
like
chance.
You said about the mountain, be doing the thing that you love, that you're passionate about. And at some point, you're going to turn around and you're going to see that other person who's into the same thing you're in, with that same level of commitment and that same passion. And then you just sit next to each other. And it goes from there.
That's really cute.
100%.
That's
100%.
my dating advice. That's my free dating advice. Stay off the apps.
Except the Owwll app. Everyone should be on there. Speaking of the Owwll app, we do have to make one more call here. Do you guys want to call Bonnie Gale? She's a medium.
Let's call Bonnie.
She already knows we're going to call in that case. So.
Bonnie is expecting our call.
Wow.
Oh, wait, did she just request to go available? Hold on. Does it? Oh, she was live. I guess she saw that out. She sensed that we were going to call.
No, not talking to them.
Nah, trouble over here. All right. What do we got? DeMarcus Brewster? Yeah, let's give DeMarcus a call. He's a podcaster. We'll see how we're doing if we're doing a good job here. Hold on.
You got $70 in there. You got money.
I know Jason loaded me up. How did I get 70? No, did I add money? You said I had 15 to start. 26. I just touched the thing and it makes money.
You're manifesting increase in your life right now.
Yeah. Let's add a couple zeros to it.
Happening.
Hey, DeMarcus, are you with us? All right. DeMarcus, are you with us? All right. I'll try it again. DeMarcus, are you with us?
It really feels like we're dealing with a medium here.
I know. Hi, DeMarcus. It's podcast time.
Is the volume up on the phone?
Yeah, no, Jason, he's our tech guy. He's got it all put together. DeMarcus. All right, I'm talking to him like through my mind.
Oh, okay.
It's a crazy conversation. Don't talk to me like that,
left,
DeMarcus. You have no idea what he just said.
Empathic.
I'm going to hang up this phone if you say this again. All right, we got to go, DeMarcus. We need you in real time, but we'll continue our conversation later. Sure you want to? Are you sure I want to end the call? Don't ask me if I'm sure. Dismiss. I'm even sure when I'm not sure. Dismiss. Yeah, there we go. Too many questions. All right. How do I go back? How do I go back? Oh, like that? iPhones, they're complicated.
Let's see. Who should we call?
Do you have a suggestion from our studio audience out there? You in the corner. Who should we call?
Stefan.
Meditation.
Yeah, no, I thought that was interesting. Let's go.
All right,
Like
cool. What's his name?
It's
Stefan.
my 2025 goal, meditation. I would love to talk to him about it.
Have you gotten into it yet?
I have. I'm trying.
How's it
I
going?
am okay. Twice a day, 15-minute
Twice a day,
sessions.
okay.
First thing in the morning and then midday. That one's tough.
Are you
That one-
focusing on the affirmations and your intentions?
I am.
Okay, good.
I am.
Good.
I try to clear. I don't necessarily clear my mind, but I do the meditation for about 13 minutes and then it's affirmation and then manifestation.
Well, the thing with the meditation is, is he answering?
No, all did.
I'm telling you, he's probably busy meditating. He just left his phone on.
You
Man.
need to try the Silva Ultramind system. I use that all the time. That's how I got into meditation. I can meditate up to an hour now.
Wow.
Sometimes I fall asleep.
Well, there's
my
different
body
types.
I
falls-
do.
Steph.
I fall asleep too.
My body falls
Does that
asleep, but
count?
my mind is still awake.
Interesting.
So like my head was, but I know I'm I'm
Ah.
still awake. So when you get to that trance state where you're at alpha waves and your body sleep, mind awake,
It's amazing,
next
right?
level.
Zika is what I'm doing, but it's meditation for performance, which I think is why
Okay,
it's shorter sessions.
That's different.
So you get in and out and you get a little rest and you get a little reset and then you're back on it. It's got to be quick.
Oh, we're live.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, let me see. Okay, let me put you on speakerphone.
Please.
Hey, no, that's mute. Okay, hello.
Howdy, you are
Oh,
on the
that's
Owwll
okay.
podcast.
It's not going on speakerphone. That's
Ye-
fine.
Were you going to share us with the whole family?
No, it's just sometimes when on the Owwll app it just goes to speakerphone and I have it up to my ear and I hear I have to take it down.
I
Sometimes it
gotcha.
just defaults to
Technology.
for some reason it defaults to speakerphone.
We should just go back to the rotary phones. What do you say, Charmin?
Yes,
I
let's do
don't
that.
know. I've gotten so used to being able to dial things fast now, and and just like on my iPhone, I just have shortcuts. I just hit this one, call my daughter, hit this button, and the phone just starts dialing.
Amazing.
It's like it has a mind of its own.
Yes, it does. It does. So, how are you tonight?
We're doing fantastic.
Great.
Like
All right.
better than we probably all deserve, right? I think
Yes,
so.
yes. So,
And we're talking
on-
to Charmin, so it just even got better.
so where on the planet are you? Where in the U.S.?
We're here in Boca Raton.
Oh, see, I'm here in D.C. where it's snowing.
Ooh,
I'm
it's
quite
cold.
sure it's not snowing in Boca.
No, and this is why everyone comes here.
Exactly.
We are
Speaking of which,
flip-flops and tank tops in the winter.
I heard it. I heard that tone in your voice, Charmin. I think you need a realtor.
Oh, really? Okay, I'll
I-
think about that. I think about that because I do like that the weather changes here in DC. We see spring, we see summer, we see fall, we see winter.
Yeah,
You
guys
have a
got that
decisive
experience.
tone in your voice, though. That weather's
Oh,
very
okay.
indecisive. It changes as mine 4 times a year.
Okay, that's fine.
You can always travel. You can always jump on a plane and go to DC and see that snow and then come on
Yeah.
back.
That's true. That is true. If I really wanted to do it, I do enjoy going to Florida. That my father was born in Tallahassee.
Ooh.
Oh.
Very nice.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I went to school in Tallahassee. My first year of college, I went to Florida State.
Mm.
And
Uh-huh.
I was like, this is not Florida. There's ice on my windshield. I don't know how to handle
Yes.
that. There's hills everywhere, hills.
Yep.
And I drove a stick shift, and that
Ooh.
might show my age.
Oh,
But I would be
no.
on a hill. Like, how do you get into first gear on a hill? I learned stick shift in South Florida. It was crazy.
Yeah,
I was like, I'm
yeah.
gonna die up here. My car will roll back. I did fine. You just have to
Yeah.
come in. You got to be quick, and you can't. It's got to be instinctual. You got to push the gas and move it up
All
the hill.
right.
but-
I never. Well, you're better than me. I've never driven a shift.
Ooh.
You got to drive a stick shift. You
No,
haven't
no,
lived
no.
till you've driven a stick shift.
You have to
No,
do it.
up here you don't need it. You just automatic, just going down the street.
Well, when I turned 16, I had a sister who was 2 years older than me, and there was 2 cars available. One was a stick and one was not. And I thought, if I know how to drive the stick shift, I will always have that car because she didn't learn to drive it. And I was golden.
Yes.
I always had a car.
Yeah, stick
Yeah,
shifts
yeah,
are
that's
shift.
true.
they're different. No two ways about it. I'd have
Yeah.
driven a stick shift for like 15, 20 years, and I'm in Estonia, and I rented a car. And
Okay.
I didn't even think to say automatic or stick or anything like that. So I show up to the car rental, and they're super
No
advanced in
way.
Estonia. I got to tell you, way advanced. You show up there, and they send you something like to an app, and then the app like blinks when you get
Oh
to the.
yeah, yeah.
There's
yeah.
no human contact, and like the
Wow.
keys are just like.
Oh
They
my
show up,
goodness.
and I'm like, this is amazing.
Did you have to roll the window up too?
Oh, it did have actually roll ups. Yeah, correct. And then I'm like,
That's
I'm
funny. Yeah.
smiling at the stick, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be fun. I'm like, I hope you guys have a
Oh,
good mechanic.
no.
This clutch is
Okay,
about to get
what-
burnt out.
Yeah, Which rental car company is this? So I know not to use that one.
Euro car.
Yeah, Estonia. I
Oh,
mean, where is
I've
Estonia?
heard of that one. I've heard of it.
Uh-huh. Oh, it's
I've
right on the
heard when I
Russian
was-
border. I have a great
Oh.
story about the Russian border too.
Okay, yeah, I've seen that when you go online to rent a car in Florida.
Yeah.
That was one of the stores.
Oh, there's a Euro car in Florida.
It was some. I saw
They're
it
pushing
somewhere
that
when
stick
we were
shift
off of
agenda
Rent-A-Car.
everywhere, huh?
Imagine. I
Yeah,
can't
and the thing, at first you get pulled in because the price is less, and they're like, wait a minute, I've never heard. of this
When you get a
company."
stick shift, you know you paid the least. That's no joke.
And you're cranking your
So
window
we
down.
stepped
in the
away.
85-degree weather.
That's it. And if you want to turn on the heater, it requires that you go chop down a tree and throw in
Oh
logs.
no! See, that's too much work. That's too much. It's enough.
And by the way, it didn't
just
have an
put
engine. My
gas
feet, it had no floorboards. My feet went underneath it.
Oh my god! Oh my god! That sounds.
Estonia.
That reminds me of the first Volkswagen Beetle that had the heat came off the engine. That's where your heat
Right.
came
My
from.
mom had one of those. in Ecuador.
Yes.
Yeah, my mom had one of those. That thing kept breaking down, and it was stick shift. And in Ecuador, there's a lot of hills and mountains, so that thing would always set on fire.
Oof.
God bless my
Yeah,
mom.
yeah.
Mom.
We had the one that it had the stick, but it was really an automatic.
Ah, so it's like a stick shift in disguise.
Yes.
It kept the
yes, so-
would be automatic thief like move on to the next car.
Yes, yes. But the heat came off of the engine. So if you
So
wanted to
funny.
be warm in the winter, you had to drive really, really fast. Engine. would
Officer,
heat
I
up.
was not speeding. I was freezing my ass off. I
I'm
promise.
just trying to survive. I'm just
Yeah.
trying to survive.
And
Have
it's
y'all
get,
seen
Oh,
the
that
new
is
VW?
funny.
The new VW van?
oh, they're
I
nice.
saw
The
the
van?
commercial.
Really?
The van?
And they're like
Yeah.
$70,000.
Not cheap.
What?
Unbelievable. Yes. And it looks, I mean, it's got the same vibe as the original.
Yeah,
What is the van called?
the van again.
Oh yeah.
what
Yeah, the
Yeah.
van. Isn't it electric? Isn't it
I
electric?
think
Yeah,
so.
Could
But I
be.
looked
It's
up the price because
electric.
I was like, this is so cute. That'd be a fun little mom car. No, 70 grand.
No.
There are a lot of things
No,
I'd rather drive for
that's not a mom
$70,000.
Right.
car. That's
No.
not mom. That's not a mom car.
No,
That's
please
a
don't
specific
get
kind
that.
of mom.
Please don't get that.
No,
No,
V
no.
Yeah,
VWs,
me.
they've upgraded their image a lot. Like they have some really like
Yes.
nice new. They have a new concept car. I somehow stumbled on that, and those things are like
Uh-huh.
these concept cars. Holy smokes! You should see this thing. And then Audi came out has a Was it Audi or was it Hyundai? I don't remember. No, it was or Nissan. It was one of the 200 car makers in this world had a
There you
concept.
go, right?
No, it was Nissan, but no, this car, the way it lit up and did things, it's just like it's amazing what they're doing. But yeah, Volkswagen's always
yeah,
been
it's-
on the
yeah.
forefront.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they own
Volkswagen
Porsche.
is not that little Beetle that from the 60s and the little
Mm.
Beetle that you would decorate and take it places.
Right.
Exactly. Put flowers all over
Yeah,
it.
flowers
and
or whatever.
Cute.
Yeah.
be blasting
whatever
your
it
Creedence
is.
Clearwater Revival or
Yeah.
Jimi Hendrix
Yes. Yeah. Uh-huh.
or the old
Yeah.
school Volkswagen van where they open the door and Scooby Doo.
There you
Yeah.
go.
and
cloud of
Scooby-Doo,
smoke comes
that's the
out.
one. Yep, they don't make that one anymore. As we already heard, that's $70,000 now.
Oh man, does it come with a cloud of smoke?
I-
That would be a good
Does
one.
it come with Scooby Doo?
I want Scooby Doo. Come on.
Yeah,
Yabba
we
dabba
wanted to
do.
come with Scooby Doo.
What happened to the old good cartoons of the day?
I know, right?
No.
They're there. You have to find them. They're streaming. I find them
My
because
kids
I like
will watch
looking
that
at 'em.
stuff and they're like, you were able to watch with this, like, it's so fuzzy, it's blurry, it's,
Right?
how'd you watch this?
Well, we didn't
It's
know
like,
any
yeah,
better.
well, we
That's
had
it.
we
didn't
had
know any
no
better.
choice.
It's wild.
Well, remember video games like Pac-Man when it first came out?
Yeah.
That was like, that would get people for days. Like, doing, 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 doing,
Yes.
doing, 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 doing. Oh my God, I got it.
Yes,
The ghosts are
yes.
coming after me. Hold on.
I
They
know.
have
And it
one
was
at BJ's,
so
the old
simple. It
school
was
Pac-Man.
so
Yeah.
simple.
Stand up. My daughter played the other day, my 8-year-old, we were in BJ's and she stood there and played it. And she was like, it's so archaic. It's so archaic.
Yeah,
It's
as
hilarious.
simple as it
I know,
gets.
It's like,
yeah.
watch
But
out,
it's
girl.
addictive.
It
I'll
was
show
very
you how it's
simple.
done.
Yeah, very simple. It didn't have a whole lot of stuff going on.
And probably far less addictive, which
Oh.
is
Oh, yeah,
why we could play our
1000%.
games and then go outside and play.
Right.
And nobody was like
Yeah.
stuck inside for 17 hours glued to their stupid Nintendo.
But that was the
Right.
point. That was the entire point of what's coming out nowadays is to get people hooked. And like, I don't know if you guys have heard this, and I don't even know why I'm in this world. I don't even have kids. But cocoa melon is highly addictive, and it's been proven to be put kids in a trance.
What's
state.
cocoa
What,
melon?
I was going to say, what is
Cocoa
Cocoa
Melon
Melon?
is like a baby show.
My,
Is it
It's
a
a show
baby
for
show?
babies, but it puts babies in a trance state.
Wow.
And it creates behavioral problems, and parents for a long time didn't understand why. And a lot of parents put it on for their kids because it puts them in a trance state to a point where they don't bother the parents,
Right.
but a lot of kids shows are like this nowadays, and they're programmed to keep kids distracted and
Sedate.
addicted.
Wow.
Ooh.
I'm moving.
Okay.
I'm moving to El
thanks for letting
Salvador.
me
I'm
know.
out of here.
I will not
This
be.
is scary.
Why do I
Yeah, I
know this? I have no
know.
idea.
And it's like,
Interesting.
why? It's like, why? Why? Why?
Because
Why?
they want kids disconnected.
It's
as
easier to
possible
control.
from
If
the
you want to
phone.
get into the dark side of it,
Yeah,
yeah, we
it's
could
easier
talk
to
about
control.
that.
Yeah,
Everything.
yeah. No.
I mean, it's
like,
not a
oh,
job for
that-
the faint-hearted, that's for sure.
Like we just got
Yeah.
served plastic shrimp talking about command and control and the dark side of the food supply. And I saw some guy eating these like they were going out of style earlier today.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what you missed. You missed the buffet.
Yeah, I know. I miss the good food.
Plastic
Apparently there's-
shrimp, plastic
there's
lobster.
lobster,
Ah.
man.
AI created
3D
drinks,
printed.
3D printed.
There you
They can
go.
they can do that
They
though.
can do that. There's meat that's 3D printed, and it looks just like meat.
Terrifying.
That's so
my
terrifying.
gosh. They can 3D print houses.
Yeah, there's places in Texas where you can buy 3D houses, but I mean the new constructions are just as bad. So.
Ugh.
in a lot
Well,
of
if you
places,
believe
they-
in reincarnation by any stretch and you get reincarnated, please let's not get reincarnated into the future. I want to go back to cave. I think caveman days would probably be so satisfying.
Caveman
Maybe.
days.
Maybe.
I'm not there. I'd be
was
Victorian
simple.
era. I want
Yeah,
the Victorian era. I
me
want a
too.
corset. I want a maid.
Well,
I
that
want
okay. That's
food,
when
food,
culture. Okay, I can see. I
Game
can see
of
that.
Thrones
Like, when
era.
they would hang out and
Yes.
somebody would play the piano.
Piano, and they would drink tea.
Yes. Or wine.
And okay, wine. They had wine back then, and everyone was very like they talked very eloquent,
They
class.
talked.
They
Imagine
talked. Oh,
Talk
like,
to
did we
each
just say-
other.
Imagine
Oh,
the
no.
architecture back in the day.
Ugh.
The Renaissance and the ballroom dances, and everyone got dressed
Live
up.
music, the dressing up. That's where
Yeah.
I want to be.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Yeah.
I don't know about you and the caveman. You're gonna be
I
trying
know.
to start fire out there with some rocks and a stick.
It's
but-
all right. It's all
I
right.
want
We're
a
good.
bed. I want a bed and like a mattress and
Yeah, but have you
Right.
ever slept on a mattress from the 1600s or 1500s?
They're like
no.
I don't think they had
Feathers?
posturepedic
No.
designs or springs.
They had feathers, I imagine.
Oh my
I
god.
don't know.
Wool
Yeah,
mixed
and back
up.
then you can get I like to think it was more humane probably back then,
I
but I
mean,
don't know. And they probably ate the goose after they plucked the feathers.
Yes.
Yeah, they definitely did.
Yeah.
They definitely did that. I'm not sure. I mean, I've seen some of those beds, and they don't look like the most comfortable things on earth, but they did their best.
Well, did you ever hear the story of I think it was Cinderella that had like a pea under her mattress?
The Princess and the Pea.
Oh, the princess. Yeah, I knew you would know. Okay, good. Yeah. And they kept adding mattresses or something. And like eventually she was like 40 mattresses high, and she would wake up with a sore back every morning because there was a pee.
It was
under the
more about
mattress.
her. The story is about the woman was a little high maintenance.
Uh,
The story is get a girl that will live in your cave because the princess can feel the pee through mattresses stacked high.
Interesting.
You missed
but
the
you see,
moral.
when you sleep on concrete, you can sleep on a mattress with a pee.
That's true.
That poor princess.
The poor princess. The poor prince, really.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
I
imagine.
hope she wasn't married to her brother.
The who does a princess marry? The king? Well, doesn't she marry a prince? Another prince?
Wait,
Doesn't
wait,
she
when a
marry-
princess marries, I don't, is it, no, it's the prince is the son of the king.
Right. and
So the
princess is the
princess's
daughter.
husband would be,
A
would he be a
neighboring
prince?
You'd be a neighboring prince. A prince.
Well, I
Think
see.
go
did
back
he-
to
A prince by blood or prince-in-law?
No, but was she also a princess, or did she marry in?
No, she was the princess, and then she married a guy.
Then yeah, he would be.
So go back to Aladdin. He had to come and be the prince from the neighboring country to take the
Ah.
princess. You had to
Yes,
marry,
yeah.
you know.
But then he got stuffed in
royalty.
a genie bottle.
Oof,
Like, can you imagine living in a bottle?
he got 3 wishes.
Yeah,
That's true.
he sure did.
That's
He
true.
ended up getting the girl too.
That's right.
Happy ending.
That's right.
There you go. But
You
it
just
sure-
had to. You just had to. Okay, never mind. That's-
Took
guys
some
can-
authenticity, right? He
Yeah.
Feel his true.
By the way,
core
Disney,
self.
when they come up with their movies and their packaging, if you really look at the subliminal
Oh, geez.
twists that they throw in there, okay,
Mhm.
we'll just leave it
Whole
at
another story.
that. Really is. That's a whole
That's a
other
rabbit trail
podcast.
right there. Yeah.
Yeah. But speaking of Rabbit Holes podcast, I think we have to pop out of this one because look at the time, everyone.
Oh yeah.
This is what happens every time we do a podcast. We lose track of time. We go down this rabbit hole. It's fun. We laugh. Actually, no, it's just terrible, and we're all thinking about how to get out of here.
It's fun.
But this has been a special one. This has been a really good one. Thank you so much for coming on.
Absolutely.
We're so happy. You shared your story. Everyone out there, Evelyn, realtor, South Florida.
Call her on the Owwll app.
Is there any parting comments you want to say to anyone, or thoughts you want to leave in their minds?
Sure. I mean, if you're here in Florida or you're anywhere in the country and you're thinking of coming to Florida, do call me. Reach out. I would love to get to know you and hear what you're looking for and what you're dreaming about, and to be part of that and help you make those dreams come true for you, your family, or whomever you might know that wants to be in sunny South Florida.
Download the Owwll app.
Yep.
You can
All
find
right.
her on
And
there.
Domenica, you always have some nice final parting words.
Yeah. I mean, going back to the beginning of the podcast, I just want to give a little bit more background. If you are in South Florida, January 24th, Friday, me and Jeff and another amazing business owner will be hosting a series of events. This is going to be our very first one on how to set yourself up to success in 2025. So if you're serious about launching a business, getting your mindset right, getting your marketing right, or all around robust strategy, you need to come to this event, Jeff.
It's pretty self-explanatory to what you just said. So
That sounds
this is
amazing.
going to be an exciting event. Evelyn's going to be there.
I think I'm going to be there. Where is it? I was just thinking, where is it going to be
Wynwood.
hosted?
In Wynwood.
Wynwood.
Yeah,
Ooh.
beautiful location. An amazing spot called Arlo. It's a hotel in Wynwood. Absolutely gorgeous, beautifully designed. For those that appreciate art and decor, I do. I know you both do. So
Yeah.
it's a very nice place. And yeah, this event, we're going to be going deep. It's going to be, we're going to be covering everything from what it takes to succeed to what is actually involved in success. My particular part is going to be on the mindset and performance side, because here's the thing: for what Domenica does and the other individual Craig, who's going to be participating with us, you have to be in the right mindset. You have to have your values, you have to have your principles, you have to have your goals set. Those need to be clear. Once you have those, Craig steps in, and after that, this amazing person right here is going to show you how to go just skyrocket, take it to the next level. All right, that's all we got. Thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you have downloaded the Owwll app by now. And if you already have the Owwll app, well, guess what? Find all three of us on there. Thanks so much. Have a great night. And thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.
Good night.
All right.